The Prince and the Shadow of Epstein. A Machiavellian reflection on power, corruption, and the theater of democracy. Men judge more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see, but few can feel. Everyone sees what you appear to be, few feel what you are. Niccolò Machiavelli, The Prince. In every age there are rulers who appear, on the surface, to be men of destiny, chosen, celebrated, elevated as champions of the people. Yet in reality, they are but selected instruments, useful pieces placed by hidden hands upon the chessboard of power. Among these figures, Donald J. Trump stands as a modern specimen of Machiavelli's most insightful warning. The ruler is often not the true ruler at all. For those willing to look beyond the gilded theatrical facade surrounding him, Trump's ascent was not the accident of populist fury nor the triumph of an outsider. It was a coronation arranged by forces older, quieter, and far more ruthless than any electorate. Forces the modern mind, for lack of a better term, names the cabal. This cabal, like the shadow councils of Renaissance Italy, wields the currency of the age, not gold, but information, blackmail, and the power to manufacture narratives. In this world, Epstein was not merely a criminal but a custodian of leverage, a keeper of secrets, a spider who built his web with the blessing of intelligence agencies, financiers, and foreign powers, including, as many suspect, Israel's intelligence apparatus. It is within this context that one must consider the most forbidden question. What did Trump know of Epstein's death, and when did he know it? To the Machiavellian mind, the answer is not as important as the understanding that he could not have been ignorant. A prince who does not know who eliminates his rival is no prince. He is a pawn. There are whispers, some wild, some disturbingly plausible, that the connections between Trump and Epstein stretch far deeper than their public photographs suggest. That Epstein's compromat files did not merely ensnare nameless bureaucrats, but touched the inner circle of Trump himself. And here the speculation reaches its most dangerous frontier. Trump's early years with his daughter Ivanka, who Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell publicly praised as a great beauty when she was still a teenager. Whether anything occurred or not is irrelevant to power strategy. The suggestion is enough to control a king. The Machiavellian knows this. Blackmail, or even the threat of blackmail, is more valuable than armies. Thus emerges the darker possibility. Trump's need to serve the interests of those who possessed Epstein's files, not merely to avoid scandal, but to preserve his life, his fortune, and his legacy. In this interpretation, he did not make a bargain. He was the bargain. When Trump ran in 2020, it was not as a rogue liberator, but as a hired gun. His task was simple: continue the long project of the global elite, enrich the defense contractors, protect the financial overlords, and maintain the strategic alliance with Israel at all costs. The American public, believing they were choosing between two opposing forces, were instead offered two sides of the same counterfeit coin. A hollow technocrat on one side, and a master performer on the other, both serving what Machiavelli would call the invisible oligarchs. The tragedy for the American people is not that they were deceived, it is that they still believe they had a choice. But even the most obedient prince eventually outlives his usefulness. Today, Trump faces the reemergence of the Epstein files not as rumor, but as threat. The panic surrounding him, his desperation, his legal flailing, his sudden political tremors, is the behavior of a ruler who knows that his protectors are no longer absolute. Speaker Mike Johnson may attempt procedural shields, congressional stalls, and legislative barricades, but time is no longer an ally. The endgame has begun. The files are the sword of Damocles above the former king's gilded head. Whether they fall or are merely shown, the effect is the same. Trump's enemies are not trying to imprison him. They are trying to neutralize him. And in that struggle, one glimpses the eternal truth of Machiavelli's world. There are no heroes. There are no villains. There is only power, and the shadow war for those who hold it. If you want to know who controls you, ask whom you are not allowed to criticize. A maxim Machiavelli himself might have written, had he seen our age. In this unfolding drama, Trump is not the orchestrator. He is the evidence. The cabal does not fear what he will do. They fear what he might reveal if he is destroyed. That is why the next act may be the most dangerous of all.